From Trinidad and Tobago, I am Roger Boothman, champion songwriter from the Caribbean Song Festival. Whether I am in the UK or in the United States, I always tune in to CultureShare.
In the history of music in the Caribbean, no one composer, no one songwriter has dominated the region in the way that Roger Boothman has. Roger is in the company of CultureShare today, and we're very happy to have him sharing his time and to share a little bit about his talent with us. He is the only person in the history of Caribbean music who has copped the Caribbean Song Festival title 3 times, and that is a monumental achievement. Roger, welcome to the cameras of CultureShare.
It's nice to be here, Rolf, viewers listening, yes.
Roger, this Caribbean Song Festival began in 1984, and it encompasses all the islands of the region, and you have composers and singers from these different territories competing for these top prizes. In that period since it began, you have won the title on 3 occasions. That must be some very special feeling for you, seeing that no one has paralleled that, and from everybody's opinion, from sharing everybody else's opinion, there is not the likelihood that anybody would parallel your achievement. What has that been like for you, having achieved that measure of success?
Well, as the saying goes, records are there to be broken, and I would like to extend it a little more. It is a wonderful feeling to know that I've won on such occasions. In 1987, Bridgetown, Barbados, when I wrote Dream Girl for Machel Montano, who sang the song. I became the first Trinidadian songwriter to win it that year, and then in 1989, Shoma Andrews, I wrote that song, which she helped with the arrangement along with my brother David.
What was the title of that song? The song that Shoma Andrews
Life is Worth Living. And then in 1993, it was a very good year for me because we have a national song festival that goes parallel to it. The winner in Trinidad and Tobago's National Song Festival eventually goes to the CBU. And this year, well, in 1993, it was the only year that we had one representative, and that one I also won both the national and the CBU, and that is with Grooving in the Caribbean.
Which Marilyn Williams sang.
Yeah, which Marilyn. And then at the national level, I've won it 92 back-to-back, 93. That song being Every Way, which was sung by Royan Mitchell. She also, in 1992, placed 5th in the CBU.
Roger, you have dominated this thing in a manner that no one else has in music history in the Caribbean. And the local leg of the song festival, what kind of successes have you enjoyed? Tell us about some of the successes you've enjoyed.
Oh yeah, for the last 10 years I've been to the finals on 9 times. The time that I didn't come in, it was a matter of not the quality in terms of the production of the tape, which is used to judge the competition, was not put forward properly. And then the 9 times
I've been... That's the tape that you had to qualify to get into the final?
To the final.
The quality, there was a problem in the quality?
Yeah.
Oh,
and over a period of time, there was over 150 entrants, sometimes 130 something. And being in the finals 9 times out of 10.
Does in fact say something, and say something very vociferously.
Yeah, well,
it does.
Yeah, and having 2 songs in the finals in the national 5 times out of the 9. And in 1 year having 4 songs being in the finals.
Which year was that?
1993.
You had 4 songs in the finals.
Yeah.
How many participants were in that final?
There was 14, right? They broke it down to 12, in which two was left out, and then I tied for third position with two of the songs that came
So in
in.
the first four positions, how many of those songs were written and composed by you? In the first four positions of that year?
Three songs.
That,
But it was a phenomenal year because the two songs that was not entered, well, did not place, went on to represent our country in the Commonwealth, first and second. So it was a very good
that's
year.
another song festival that is also staged in the region here? The
Yeah,
Commonwealth Song
yes,
Festival?
yes, every 4 years. So it was a very, very good year, memorable year. But there are things that I remember, in over the years in the song festival. One of them was seeing my name mentioned probably one of the first times on radio. My songs being played, Dream Girl mentioned by Marshall, and I'm grateful for a lot of things that happened ever since. Though I think there's a lot to be to be done.
A lot to be explored still.
Yeah, where songs should be recorded, and I think the organizers should look after trying to get executive producers to produce these songs, which
I was about to ask that. What happens with the work after you've won these competitions? What happens with those pieces of material? Are they recorded? I know that a lot of the times the prizes include studio time to record the material, but then we never hear anything about what happens after that.
Well, some of the studio time has not been honored by
the people who promised to.
Yeah, and these are things that we have to look into, and which I am presently looking into. I find, well, what is happening in the song festival over the 10 years in our national song festival, only 3 songs have been recorded, and out of
that is a real pity.
out of 100 and something, it's kind of hard, and I think the organizers have to make a more positive contribution.
Roger, let's look at your career and what has taken place over the years. You play keyboards. You were very prolific with your composing. Where did it all begin for you? How did you get your career off the ground?
All right, I started drawing and painting when I was in school, Tranquility, and while growing up in Stanmore Avenue, just around the Queen's Park Savannah. In that period, my brother Michael and David, they were involved with the group Rockefellers, and I was just Tiny Todd and self-taught, playing and being among so many. I'm fortunate, so many talented recording artists and musicians. And it was while painting and drawing, we had a thing called the Combo Mania, which was a competition. And I started composing songs around that because, all my themes as an artist was drawing musicians.
So you're saying that the inspiration for you to commence getting into the business of music, essentially was born out of seeing your elder brothers playing music and composing and that kind of thing, yeah?
Yeah, and my uncles, and while growing up, I was always called, like, at Christmas time, we would call to do things for school, And while I was drawing these musicians, I would compose ideas from my head. No, I don't sing. I mean, I try to, right? I'm more a pianist. Now, having to sing
That's very interesting.
with me, it's like, the water changes color.
I know what you mean.
So at that time, it was just humming. But then I started playing the piano, and then I entered shows, the Auntie K and Hazel Ward, who I must say did a lot for me to expose me. And with the teen talent and being guest artist, and over the years, and Auntie K, that was the background in the Sunday morning programs. And then as time went along, I formed my own bands in 1979, 77, 79. I had a band called The Image, not Second Image, The Image.
The Image, all right.
And that band, it was members was Wayne Bonaparte, a member of Michael's band, my brother, and Charmaine Ford, and a couple other artists who went on to make a name, Michael Nisus, and we had quite a few. And then from there we had a group called Frontline, and Frontline was part of the Culture Club Image, which started in Cascade through Jamal Talib, and we had guys like Super Blue performing, and Ronnie McIntosh, and quite a number of other talented people that came through.
Over the years, you would have penned numberless pieces of material. Have you done a count of your catalog of work?
Well, in 1981, our house was burnt down, and unfortunately, most of my material then was lost. Now I had to remember most of them to document it. But I say now, as I made up a listing, it would be now just over 500 songs. I've been writing songs 26 years. So I wouldn't want to tell anybody my age, but I've been writing, and you can take a clue. I mean, all right, and I've been writing 26 years, and
I remember last year, because of how much you had been dominating the competition, you decided that you would opt out for 1 year to give other composers an opportunity to win. I thought that to be very noble of you. But I was here at Queen's Hall on the night of the contest, and seeing you sitting out in the audience, I sensed a kind of void that must have been happening within your body, your mind, your soul, and that kind of thing. Refer to that for me a little bit.
Oh, you can imagine how guys like Foreman felt some years when he gave up boxing, and how he wanted to come back. And is that, and football, I'm a football fanatic too, so I felt an urge to come back.
So this year you're back in the fray, I'm told?
Yeah, I am. I'm not going to let Barbados come by and grab a hold of Trinidad and Tobago's record, outstanding record. We have won it 5 times. Barbados is on the verge of winning it a 3rd time. So
Did they win it last year? Did they?
Yes, they won it last year. And, when I'm around, the competition will get stiff, because I know what it is all about, because of experiences. Always finding out from the judges, I find a lot of our writers should find out from the judges what went wrong. I think
you take the time to do that, yes?
Yeah, I try not to be self-centered. I try to learn from positive people, and being out there in California, Los Angeles helped a lot, because I was sort of evaluated from
the trip to Los Angeles. Was that part of one of your prize trips?
No, it's a good thing you brought up that. It was a godsend. Mrs. Romaine Edwards, she sent for me, and I got everything.
Who's
paid.
Romaine Edwards? Who is she?
She was a guest of my parents, through Miss Imelda Roberts, and I went up to the song symposium, the 13th annual song symposium. That was way back in '86, and I rubbed shoulders in terms of the music with Billy Osborne, Jeffrey Osborne, brother. We put down some material. I'm hoping that I can renew communication, so at least it can help other artists like our artists here to be open, to the international market.
A little birdie somewhere whispered to me that you have been making exploits into the international market, having your material shopped around out there. Whitney Houston's name came up, that some of the material was taken to Whitney's management in New Jersey. Tell us a little bit about that, Roger.
Oh yeah, I am a fan of Whitney Houston. I've been following her career right through. I was fortunate to have a very close friend who made that contact for me, right? And I'm grateful. I'm hoping that some more material which I'm working on would be sent across. There are a lot of international singers that I hope that I would like to write 1984 because I've started doing that. Some at home, the calypsos that I write, I started writing calypsos in 1979. But
Tell
coming
us
back,
about a couple of those calypsos. I seem to remember Wine on the Cassette by Colin Lucas as a piece that you had penned.
yeah, I co-wrote the song and arranged along with Colin Lucas. Rewind, fast forward, eject, and it was one of those double Antoine ideas. And but that's coming back just a while to Whitney. I've been such a close fan because I remember her mom singing familiar song, "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow," Cissy Houston, and I was impressed, and following Whitney's career, I started writing before ballads, which is the bulk of my compositions. And I've been familiar with the people in the 70s as well, growing up and hearing names like Denise Williams and Johnny Mathis, and and the Jacksons. I think to me internationally that 70s was the pinnacle of the music industry, because you had men like not the late Van McCoy, and now, well, at that time Quincy Jones. So that broadened my horizon, and then listening to some of the Brazilian musicians and our own writers here who I can rate very highly as well.
Roger, the way you've dominated the music scene here in the island of your birth, Trinidad and Tobago, and on a broader scale, you've also had very much your sway with things in the Caribbean Broadcasters Union Song Festival. One can only understand that there is very little challenge in your little part of the globe here for you to aspire towards greater things, and I trust that that's why you are now looking at the bigger name artists and trying to attract them with some of your work. Is that what's happening? Is that what's taking place?
Yeah. I feel in order to expand, to do what they are doing, and as just as good as they are doing, I think that would open up the eyes of some of the people here who are very complacent. I think what is happening here locally, we have an influx of a lot of dancehall, dub, and calypso and soca. I feel if I can make it another way around and be truthful to myself as a writer of pop and ballad, I'll be able to do what I would like to do, which is the soca. So in order to do that, I want to show that my versatility basically in pop music, and that is the feel I would stay with.
Who are some of the big names in the business who you have earmarked to do some of the material outside of Whitney Houston?
Okay, now you see how people are familiar with singers. I make myself familiar with writers, and I know their style. You have names like Michael Mesa, who has written songs for Natalie Cole. There's Burt Bacharach, as you would know, all right? So that is the standard which I try.
Those are your mentors.
My
mentors. Are your exemplars.
Yeah.
Those are the people who give inspiration and impetus and drive to what you do.
Yes, yes, and the late Linda Creed. So that I know the type of songs she wrote for the stylistics. I know what Babyface is doing right now, presently, which is really good. And there are names like for instance Jody Watley. I know I believe in a singer like Jody Watley because to me her style fits into what I'm doing as well. And it's time that I feel, besides that, there are other names, that I would like, to write for. Tony Braxton. There are so many others, I can go on and on. There are a couple others, we have, there's Luther Vandross. Now, locally, there's a couple singers that are unknown that I would like to produce, and I'm working with a young girl. Her name is Miriam Richardson. I want to see her mature into something positive, and there are a couple other names around. But not taking away anything from our Calypsonians. I grew up listening to Spoiler And to me, Spoiler and Commander and these Calypsonians was the heart and soul of our culture. So
Roger,
that,
what does the immediate future hold for Roger Boothman and his career?
well, I would like to really, at least if I can get 1 or 2 songs with Whitney Houston, I would cherish that. I'm also looking at the possibilities of Vanessa Rubin.
Oh, this jazz singer right out
Yeah,
in New York.
yes, she's interested, you know, and then there are a couple of Calypsonians, Crazy, that I'm looking forward writing. And Super Blue, he promised that we would get together at some time to do something.
You have a few things in your melting pot. Your drawing board has got a few items on it of great interest.
Yeah, and I would like to extend the victories because, you know, Sagafi Sober's record was established 35 years after by Brian Lara, where cricket is concerned. So I would like to extend my victory so it will make it a little harder for the younger ones to try to achieve.
All right, I hear that, Roger. We want to thank you for spending the time with us on CultureShare. We've been greatly honored to be in the company of Roger Boothman. On behalf of our staff and our crew and everybody connected to G.B.T.V, we want to wish you all the best with your career, and we just want to invite you to keep pressing on, and we know that you would. We feel pretty confident that you would. Thanks a lot for talking to us.
Thank you, Ralph. Okay.